If you're currently receiving the age pension, approaching retirement, or still working part-time while drawing government support, you need to pay attention to what's happening in 2026 because a wave of significant changes is about to reshape the Australian retirement landscape. Starting January 1st, 2026, the cost of prescription medicines for non-concession cardholders will drop from $31.60 to just $25 per script, representing the lowest PBS price in 20 years. On March 20th, 2026, the next mandatory age pension indexation takes effect, potentially increasing your fortnightly payment based on inflation and wage growth measures. From July 1st, 2026, the entire superannuation system transforms with the introduction of Payday Super, requiring employers to pay superannuation contributions with every pay cycle instead of quarterly, ensuring your retirement savings grow faster through improved compounding. These aren't minor administrative adjustments. For the 2.6 million Australians receiving age pension payments, for the millions still working part-time in retirement, and for everyone planning their retirement in the coming years, these changes represent both significant opportunities and potential pitfalls that demand your immediate attention and understanding. The Australian pension and superannuation system has evolved dramatically since the age pension was first introduced in 1909, and 2026 marks one of the most comprehensive reform periods in recent decades. The Payday superannuation reform, which becomes law on July 1st, 2026, addresses a problem that has plagued Australian workers for years: delayed superannuation contributions that reduce retirement savings through lost compound interest. Under the current system, employers must pay superannuation at least quarterly, meaning your super contributions can sit outside your account, earning nothing for up to 3 months. From July 2026, your employer must pay your super at the same time as your wages, with funds reaching your account within 7 business days of each payday. For the 8.9 million Australian employees affected by this change, including many retirees working part-time, this represents thousands of dollars in additional retirement savings over a working lifetime simply because your money starts earning investment returns immediately instead of sitting dormant for months. The government estimates this reform will help combat the estimated $6 billion in unpaid and underpaid superannuation that currently disadvantages Australian workers every year. The medicine cost reduction taking effect on January 1st, 2026, delivers immediate financial relief to pensioners who don't hold concession cards, particularly those receiving part pensions whose income or assets sit just above the full pension threshold. While pensioners with pensioner concession cards continue paying the frozen rate of $7.70 per script, those without concessions will save $6.60 on every prescription, translating to hundreds of dollars annually for anyone managing chronic conditions requiring multiple medications. This change acknowledges the reality that many Australian retirees live in the gap between full pension eligibility and complete financial independence, often struggling with healthcare costs that erode their quality of life. The March 2026 pension indexation follows the established framework where rates are reviewed twice yearly on March 20th and September 20th, with calculations based on 3 separate economic measures: the Consumer Price Index, the Pensioner and Beneficiary Living Cost Index, and male total average weekly earnings. Whichever measure shows the highest increase determines your new rate, ensuring your payment keeps pace with both general price rises and wage growth across the Australian economy. Additional changes in 2026 include personal income tax cuts beginning July 1st, when the rate on income between $18,201 and $45,000 falls from 16% to 15%, dropping further to 14% from July 1st, 2027. For pensioners still working part-time, these cuts mean more money in your pocket without affecting your pension entitlements. Superannuation on paid parental leave begins in 2026, with the government making 12% contributions directly to the super accounts of eligible parents, addressing the retirement savings gap that career breaks create, particularly for women. Energy supplements and cost of living boosts introduced in previous years continue into 2026, providing approximately $250 to $300 per month in additional support to eligible pensioner households facing rising utility and grocery costs. Changes to the work bonus scheme may increase the amount pensioners can earn from employment before their pension reduces, with some reports suggesting an increase from $300 to $400 per fortnight, though confirmation of this specific change remains subject to final government announcements. The deeming rate situation deserves particular attention because it directly affects how your financial investments are assessed for age pension purposes. Deeming rates were frozen for 5 years during economic uncertainty, but were unfrozen in September 2025, with current rates set at 0.75% for the first $62,000 of financial assets and 2.75% for amounts above that threshold. Unlike automatic pension indexation, deeming rates are not adjusted on a fixed schedule, but are set by the Minister for Social Services based on advice from the Australian government actuary and prevailing economic conditions. If deeming rates change again in 2026, either increasing or decreasing, your assessed income from investments changes accordingly, directly impacting your pension entitlement. For pensioners with substantial savings in bank accounts or term deposits, deeming can create a situation where you're assessed on income you're not actually earning, particularly problematic when deeming rates exceed actual interest rates available in the market. Here's what these changes mean for your specific situation and why acting now matters more than waiting. If you're currently working part-time while receiving the age pension, the July 2026 payday super changes mean you'll see more frequent superannuation contributions hitting your account, improving your long-term retirement savings, even if you're already drawing a pension. Check with your employer before July to ensure their payroll systems are ready for this change, because implementation problems could delay your super payments and cost you money. If you're taking multiple prescription medications and don't hold a concession card, the January PBS price reduction saves you real money immediately, but you need to understand whether applying for a Commonwealth Seniors Health Card might provide even greater benefits by giving you access to the $7.70 concessional rate instead. If your income or assets have changed since your last update to Services Australia, report these changes immediately because the March 2026 indexation calculates your new payment based on your current circumstances, and outdated information means you could receive the wrong amount. The consequences of not staying informed about these changes extend beyond simply missing opportunities. If you're working part-time and your employer fails to implement Payday super correctly from July 2026, you could experience delays in receiving your superannuation contributions, and those delays compound over time because money outside your super account earns nothing while money inside your account should be generating investment returns. If you're eligible for PBS concessions but haven't applied for the appropriate card, you're paying significantly more for medicines than necessary, money that could be supporting other aspects of your retirement lifestyle. If your financial situation has improved or declined and you haven't reported these changes to Centrelink, the March indexation locks in an incorrect payment rate that continues until you fix the problem, creating either overpayment debts you must repay or underpayments you'll never recover. The taxation changes starting July 2026 mean if you're working part-time, your actual take-home pay increases by up to $268 annually, without any change to your employment situation, but only if you're aware of this change and can factor it into your retirement income planning. To protect your interests and maximize your benefits from these 2026 changes, you must take specific concrete steps starting immediately. First, if you're currently working in any capacity, confirm with your employer that their payroll systems will be ready for Payday super implementation on July 1st, 2026. Ask specific questions about how they plan to handle the transition, whether they've upgraded their software, and what processes they're implementing to ensure your super reaches your account within the required 7 business days. Second, review your medicine costs and concession card eligibility right now. If you're paying the non-concessional PBS rate, calculate your annual medication expenses and determine whether applying for a Commonwealth Seniors Health Card would save you more money than the January PBS price reduction alone. The application process takes time, so starting now ensures you have the card before the new year. Third, log into your MyGov account and verify that every piece of information Services Australia holds about you is current and accurate. Check your bank account details, your address, your relationship status, your declared assets, your investment holdings, and your income sources. If anything has changed since your last update, report it immediately rather than waiting until after the March 20th indexation. Fourth, if you're approaching age 67 or planning to increase your work hours in retirement, use the free calculators available through Services Australia to model how the tax cuts and potential work bonus changes affect your overall financial position. Understanding these interactions helps you make informed decisions about how much to work, when to work, and how to structure your finances to maximize both your employment income and your pension entitlements. Fifth, review your superannuation statements and confirm your employer is making the correct contributions based on your earnings. The transition to Payday Super creates additional opportunities for errors, particularly in the first few months after July 2026. And catching problems early prevents them from becoming larger issues that take months to resolve. Sixth, if you hold significant savings in bank accounts or term deposits, consult with a financial information service offered free by Services Australia to understand how deeming rates affect your pension and whether restructuring your investments might improve your overall financial position without increasing risk. The pharmaceutical price reduction alone might seem modest at $6.60 per script, but for someone taking 5 medications regularly, that's over $1,700 in annual savings starting January 2026. The Payday Super change might not directly affect current full-age pension recipients who've stopped working, but if you're still employed even part-time, the improved compounding from more frequent contributions can add thousands to your super balance over just a few years of continued work. The tax cuts provide up to $536 annually from July 2027 for anyone earning over $18,000. And when combined with the work bonus scheme that lets you earn substantial employment income without affecting your pension, working part-time in retirement becomes significantly more attractive financially. These changes work together to create a retirement income landscape that's more favorable to older Australians who want or need to work, who are managing healthcare costs on limited budgets, and who are trying to optimize the complex interaction between work income, investment income, superannuation, and age pension entitlements. The urgency of acting on this information cannot be overstated. January 1st, 2026 is already here, meaning the PBS changes are now in effect, and you should be seeing lower medicine costs immediately if you're a non-concession cardholder. March 20th, 2026 arrives in just over 2 months, and if your details with Services Australia aren't accurate by then, your pension adjustment will be calculated incorrectly. July 1st, 2026 is less than 6 months away, and both your employer and your super fund need to be ready for Payday Super implementation by that date. The system changes are happening whether you're prepared or not, and the difference between understanding these changes and ignoring them is the difference between maximizing your retirement income and leaving thousands of dollars unclaimed. You've worked for decades. You've contributed to the system through your taxes and your labor. You deserve to receive every benefit and entitlement these changes provide. But those benefits only flow to people who stay informed, verify their details, report changes promptly, and understand how the different pieces of the retirement income system fit together. Check your MyGov account today. Review your medicine costs and concession card eligibility this week. Confirm your employer's Payday Super readiness this month. Calculate how the tax cuts affect your work decisions this quarter. The big changes are coming for Australian pensioners in 2026, and being prepared means you benefit while being unprepared means you lose out.